No comment once again from Max Townsend.
There we go.
Testimony in his trial.
Yeah.
Townsend drove through a group of 4 high school runners back in February 2020.
I'm just gonna see who's on. But yeah, I don't care if we just go pick up spinach somewhere else and.
Where are you gonna go pick up spinach?
Oh my gosh. Probably Whole Foods.
Okay, that's so funny. At least I'm glad you're picking up greens though. Come on.
I had to eat the greens out of my garden today only, which is fine. But, you know, I'm used to having a whole bunch of variety.
I'm not seeing who's talking. Let's see. Oh, hi, Lissa, you're there. Hello.
I'm here.
Nice to see you. I wasn't sure. I didn't hear from you. Okay. Yeah, it's weird because we have more people on than I see, but I only see who I see. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Nice to see you. I will say hello to everyone, but I see Margot, Denise, Christine, Fred, Mina, Barbara, Louise, Lissa, Linda, Susan, and Kathy. If you want to be seen, then please consider, because you know I'd really like to do breakout rooms with you guys sometime, but you really can't do a breakout room if you're not willing to be seen or heard. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to promote Lissa to the spotlight. And listen, do you know how to unmute yourself? Because when hi Rabbi Beth, what I need to do is I do need to mute everybody because you know otherwise we'll hear everybody. And so then Lissa, all you have to do is unmute yourself, and then I'll be watching the thing to if people, you know what happens is sometimes people join late and so they're not muted. And Zena's always been really good at texting me and which one, but I found a way to see who's not muted by opening this one little thing and I kind of watch it. So, but anyway, so thank you so much for being here. You guys, this is one of our members. Her name is withLissaWerson and she has a story to tell. And just so you know, I think I want to rename this member spotlight like success story. Not that she isn't a success story, but I don't want you guys to think, well, you know, I've lost so many weight, so I'm not a success story, because there's many different ways to be a success. I mean, we had one member on that her success was she had a baby after like 50 years, you know, and just by changing her diet. So anyway, so please welcome Lissa, and we're so excited to hear her story. And if there are questions, please type them in the chat. And when I can, I will ask her the questions.
Okay, hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, really good.
Okay, super. So thanks for inviting me, and I hope I can be an inspiration. I'm still a work in progress though. So, you know, I haven't quite achieved all of my goals, but we're on our way here. And just to let you know, I'll tell you the end of the story before the beginning, because that always kind of keeps you going maybe. I can see after going for a couple of years of being blind, and oh gosh, that makes me a little weepy already, but I am diabetic, and although I'm reversing that, I'm doing a really good job of it, but a few years ago I was told that I had cataracts and that I needed surgery, and I thought, great. And I just thought, well, we'll put that off until we really need it. And slowly but surely, my cataracts were growing, and my eyesight was deteriorating greatly. And so I started making arrangements to, I made arrangements to have surgery. And the surgery was scheduled for March 12th, 2020. And so there were a couple of hurdles to overcome. One was, and the biggest one for me at the time was to make sure I was healthy for it. Well, I didn't know that quite. I thought I was healthy, but you know that I got news. On March 10th, I went to the doctor to get clearance for surgery, and he said, "I'm sorry, your blood sugar is too high, and there's no way I can clear you for surgery." And I'm like, you know, I'm pretty blind here, and I don't know. And so I knew I had to turn that around, because I didn't want to go totally blind, but and I knew I was on my way there. I had achieved that really well, and so I really had to do some strong reflection. And I thought, you know, I've been following Ocean and John Robbins for over 10 or 12 years. I had also watched the I Thrive series with John McMahon. And I had gotten Joel Furman's book way back when off of KQED and or PBS. So anyway, I knew there was a way to do it, and I had tried so many times to lose weight and to get control of the diabetes over the years. And it was really a roller coaster up and down. So I knew that that someday had arrived, and I needed to really do it and not just quit partway through. So I went home and I started walking more. I've always been a good walker, but I really made sure I was diligent about it. And I remember going out on my walks and thinking, this is it, Lissa, you got to do it. There is no turning back, or else you're just going to be blind. And not only are you going to be blind, but with this diabetes, the way things have been, you could have a heart attack and die early, and among other things. And it's not, I knew it was serious. Also, the previous 3 months to being told that I wasn't going to get clearance, my good friend came to stay with me, Diana, a childhood friend, 50 years of friendship. She came to visit for, like I said, for a few months. And during that time, I just thought, well, I'm going to treat her. This is my great excuse. Treat her to everything she wants. And the next thing I knew, for that previous 3 months, I was having ice cream, my middle name, and cake, and on a regular basis, not just on an occasion. It was like, I do have that supply in the house, right, for a regular routine. And so you can imagine how I had set myself up for a really poor diagnosis with really bad blood sugar levels. So if you want to know, I'll tell you those blood sugar levels right now, just so you can all gasp now and know that I'm still alive and kicking. And I'll probably tell you the comparison numbers so you can breathe better. So at that time, my A1C was off the chart, as they say. And I thought that he told me it was, over 12. But then he told me it's over 14, and it doesn't read it beyond that. That's, just know that it could be 18 or 50, it could be any number, but we know that you're past 14 on your A1C. And my blood sugar, this is really, I didn't realize I'd get emotional about this, but here's a chance, because I want you guys to all know there's hope, and not only hope, but good things to come for everybody. So my daily number for my blood glucose reading was well over 400. Now, we all flirt with, if we do flirt with diabetes, we know that we want to keep the number at least under 125. And the goal for me has been 90. But over 400 was just like something I couldn't even understand. And I knew I was slow. I had one nutritionist tell me years ago that that high blood sugar is like having maple syrup on all your blood cells. It makes it real sticky and you kind of slow down. And I thought, oh, good grief, but I felt that way. I felt like I was moving slowly. And so you can imagine, when I knew those numbers, I thought, gee, it just seems impossible, but I have to do this. So, or else I'll die. I just thought, look, that's it. This is it. There's no waiting around or wishing. So I thought, I better track down that John McMahon with I Thrive. And I think I'll also take a look at Mastering Diabetes, because they had my respect. Not everybody had my respect at that point, because I've tried everything. And so I joined John's I Thrive group, and we're still going strong. So that's been a great inspiration for me. And immediately upon making my friends in there, I heard about Chef AJ. And I thought, who is this woman? Who is Chef AJ? And sorry.
It's okay. Take your time. We love hearing these stories.
So I found you on Facebook. Okay, now I'm a regular on YouTube, so you better all switch over to YouTube. But I've just got to tell you, I found you on Facebook, and I thought, oh, you're giving me hope. You know, I mean, you talked about your journey and your lifetime of being a junk food vegan, so to speak, and I just thought, okay, there's a way. And not only did you have insights into a way of living that I knew about, like I said, I've been a fan of John and Ocean Robbins for decades. So I had heard of that, but it just always seemed so impossible to me. And if you can't see a path, it's really hard to make progress. So what I found that was so helpful from you was that, number one, there was hope. Number two, you gave us all sorts of ways to cook that it wouldn't be like eating cardboard, you know, I mean, just a way to enjoy the food instead of feeling like it was going to be torture. And also just a method, you know, just lots of guidelines that really, really, really were helpful. I already had some good habits, but unfortunately, you know, those were mixed with lots of not so good habits. So it was a matter of really learning. And then the biggest insight I got from you and from my friends with John was the pleasure trap. Now, this was a huge insight for me because I thought, I had felt guilty all my life for not being able to do well, not have long-term success with weight loss. And, you know, I had beaten myself up over the years, and I had been raised a good Catholic. So you can imagine I went to confession a lot. And then I just felt so guilty about the failures. And every time I would have, you know, a few steps forward, I'd also fall back, and it just felt so impossible. When I learned that our bodies are made to be attracted to rich food and to the salt, oil, and sugar, and that our bodies are just going there, you know, that we just are attracted to that, and that it's normal. I realized I could let go of the disgust and the guilt that I had racked up over the years. And not only that, that there was a way to persevere through this to be able to have success. And so I have hung on to this insight of the pleasure trap. And I am just so grateful that was, to me, that's a huge key to learning, you know, that it's not a matter of willpower. It's a matter of understanding how the body works. And so no wonder you say, if it's in the house, it's in your mouth. The truth is that that's absolutely true. It's going to make its way over to you. And so why build yourself up for defeat by surrounding yourself with food that isn't going to support you? So it's not a matter of who's making the rules. It's a matter of knowing how the body works. So that was just such an insight for me. Oh, I see somebody gave me a heart. Thank you. So anyway, so I went step by step, and I love certain foods that are, you know, I had to give up. I shouldn't put it that way, but I mean, you know, at some point, and it wasn't like a matter of restriction. There are friends of mine that have done programs that are, tell them that they're addicts. And while food is addicting, I don't like that idea. I think it's a sin against humanity to tell you that you have this label of being an addict. The truth is, the body is addicted by certain substances, but that's not your character. Your character is is learning how to love yourself and how to take care of yourself and how your body works. So, sorry. One of the biggest changes for me, I had already given up red meat, but I was down to having chicken and fish for protein and eggs. So but the more I listened to Chef AJ and all your friends, all the experts and the chefs that are giving us demonstrations on how to, the more I listened to them, the more I could see that there was a path, there was a way to tackle this. And probably one of the other big points that was helpful to me was that it gets better over time. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, and the more tasty things become, and the less deprived you feel. Because I have to tell you now at this point, I'll tell you about the path a little bit more, but at this point, I cannot imagine. Now I recognize that people can have relapses, so I'm not stupid about that, but I really can't imagine eating any of the rich foods that I did in the past. Or if I were to, I might just have a little tiny bit, but I haven't yet, and it's been a year and a half. So, it feels to me like it would not make me feel good in the first place. And then that internal audience, as Dr. Lyle would say, would really go to town, right? And I just don't need to do that anymore. So up until that time, over the previous 5 to 8 years, my highest weight, they're going to love this, was 270 pounds. Now that's not where I was a year ago, but my highest weight was 270. And over the years, I was able to get it down to 225 finally, when for a lot of my adult life. And then I had last year, I think at the beginning of last year, I was about 195, and now I'm 160. So, I'd like to, my goal now is 120 if I can. So, but my point is that I've made all that progress, and it's all through taking it one day at a time, and then loving not just yourself, but loving what you're doing. And so the big adjustment for me was, I'm sorry, I've been all over the place with my thoughts, but anyway, the biggest thing for me was learning that it didn't have to be difficult. I have a friend, Rick, who I'm on a cultural arts council with him, and I had seen him in December 2019 at a meeting. And I noticed, gosh, I said, Rick, you look like what have you done? Have you lost weight? And he said, yeah. And I said, that's great. You look great. And then I thought, and here I was at 200 pounds. And I said, how'd you do it? What was your key? He said, plant-based. And, and I said, yep, I'm not surprised. And then about 6 months ago, I was on a Zoom conference with him. And before everybody got there, I said, hey, Rick, I did it. I'm doing whole food plant-based. He says, isn't it easy? I said, yeah, I can't believe it. And now when we say it's easy, I know nothing's easy. Making changes can be difficult, but there is no weighing and measuring. There's no portion control. It's just learning how and when to do it. And still one of my obstacles that I'm overcoming, I'm doing well, but there's a mindset there that I need to work on, is the idea that I need to eat more. I had some oatmeal earlier today, and I'm like, now is that too much? I'm constantly, and I have to say, yes, have more. It's okay. Are you sure? You know, so I got the devil and angel going on here, but it's okay. You know, I pretty much know everything, but I do need to refresh it now and then and tell and take a look at how am I doing. So about 6 months ago, my A1C was maybe 4 months ago, somewhere in there, 6.2. And I told you my weight already, 6.2. And then my daily glucose, I'd still like to get that down lower. It's down around 130. So, but it's not 430, you know? So and I used to be ashamed to tell you my numbers. You know, oh gosh, I don't need to tell you how much I weigh. The truth is, well, you could guess and be pretty close. So I might as well tell you. So anyway, I just want everyone to know that there's a way to make this happen, to have success. And you just have to do it one day at a time. And every day that I move forward, I hope that I gain more longevity, that I can reverse whatever damage I already did to myself over the years, and that we can just continue to enjoy life and to feel better. Oh, that's the other thing. See, I can't stop talking.
Okay.
I feel better than I've felt in years. I don't remember feeling this good ever. And I'm 63. In fact, I just realized I'm going to be 64 in 6 weeks. So, but okay. So for right now, I'm 63 and I feel better than I did at 18. And why? Because I have more energy and I feel like I've created a calmness in my body, that I don't have a battle going on. And I don't know how to, I haven't articulated that one yet, but it just feels more calm. One of the things that I managed to do through the years, I am a performer. I'm a mezzo-soprano soloist, and I've been a soloist doing Handel's Messiah for 30 years. And, you know, I am so tired of being the fat lady singing. You know, I mean, it is going to be so cool when I get a new concert dress, right? I mean, I am really looking forward to that. And do you know that one person, some guy once said to me, oh, I thought you had to be overweight in order to be able to sing well. You know, these are kind of the ideas out there. But anyway, so I love that I can look forward to feeling good about myself and not apologizing about my physical self. And so what else do you need to know?
Well, let's see if there's any questions in the chat. Everybody's really loving the story. You're absolutely beaming. Alyssa says, Nancy, Louise says, you're an amazing person, so inspirational. Your honesty and ability to express your journey is amazing.
Oh.
Let's see. And,
thank you. I feel like I've been scattered around, but thank you.
Janice says, good point regarding the addict label. You know, and I think, again, you know, it rose by any other name. Some people resonate with it, some people don't. But if you don't, you don't have to use it. It really is just that the food is addictive. Like you said, that is really,
yeah.
I mean, because there would be no addicts if there weren't addictive substances anyway. So, you know, the addictive substance comes much, much before that. Let's see what else I saw.
I think it's just wonderful to understand that the food is addicting. I think a lot of us must know that, even those who don't have a lecture to tell them that. But to feel like I need to be in a 12-step program where I stand up and confess my sins and all that, I'm just thinking, that's just not healthy for you.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think if it works for somebody, they should do it for sure. I didn't resonate with 12 steps for me, and I never went to Food Addiction Anonymous, but in my 20s, a psychiatrist had sent me to something called Emotional Health Anonymous. And I didn't like that you had to say, I'm powerless over this. And I didn't like the feeling of being powerless. Now, I think that, you know, with sugar and flour, once you start eating it, you kind of are powerless, but I'm not powerless over taking that first bite. You know what I mean? And so I just didn't resonate with that model. And it's, you know, it's really interesting because there's a psychiatrist in Los Angeles named Dr. Lance Dotis, who I've interviewed, and he feels the 12-step programs for many people. And again, if you love 12 steps, keep doing them. But for many people, they can actually harm them, and they do more harm than good.
Yeah.
And you know, what's interesting is the people for whom it doesn't work don't write best-selling books. The people for whom it works are the ones we hear from, just like any program. But I don't believe any of us are powerless. Whether we consider this an addiction or not, I don't consider any of us powerless. And that's, you see these people that are making extraordinary changes late in life, then we're not powerless, we're powerful. That said, that substance is that's got a big pull for us, you know, and different people are more susceptible. So yeah, that's great. And I'm going to look for something else that somebody said here. Love you, Lissa. You're a great friend, says Colleen. Amy says, go ahead, get emotional. This is quite a testimonial. You know, it's interesting because, you know, today on the show, I had Adam Sud, and he had mentioned his A1C was 12. And I thought, boy, that's the highest A1C I heard, but you really beat that even.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that is pretty high. Angela says, you go, girl. Thank you for your vulnerability and sharing your story. And you know, like, and again, I want everyone to know you don't have to have every pound you ever want to lose to be a success. To me, like reversing blindness, like you can't get much better than that, you know?
Oh, let me tell you about that. Let me tell you. First of all, I was very lucky. I have an expert doctor. But I didn't realize how blind I was. And, you know, I'd be on here watching and stuff like that, but I'd have to be up really close and maybe I could see things. And when, you know, I had to walk slowly. I had routines in my household so that I wouldn't trip and fall, or that I'd be able to find my phone and my keys and my my purse or whatever. There's a lot of stuff you have to do as a blind person. And even though I wasn't 100% blind, it wasn't 100% dark. It was pretty bad. And let me tell you, first of all, it was easy. It was so easy to go in and have it done. It was better than a dental appointment. And I would recommend it. I would go 20 times over going to a dentist. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying that was how nice it was. I know you have concerns about anesthesia, and a lot of people do. I did also. And I have to tell you, this was, you know, they don't knock you out all the way. They just have a short acting drug that makes you comfortable. And it was over in a short period of time. So, and the comfort was easy. It was easy. And so if anybody's holding back on that, I just want you to know it's not nearly as scary as it sounds. You know, the idea of someone being in your eyes, you know, so that was wonderful. But then being able to see was like, I had forgotten so much. The first day that I went outside after the first surgery, I looked up in the sky and I could see the daylight moon. You know how sometimes the moon will be out in the daylight, and there's no way I could have seen that in the past. In fact, during my blindness, if you put a glass of water in front of me, I'd be lucky if I could make out where the glass was, because if it's clear, it was really hard to see. So to be able to go, let me tell you, I couldn't wait to march into the doctor's office and say, hey, clear me for surgery. I know I qualify. And so, you know, that was just one of the perks. And so now I feel like there's things I want to do in life that as I am healthier, I want to get back to grabbing that brass ring and really go for it in areas that, you know, okay, so I'm in my 60s, big deal. You know, maybe I should have been in my 30s when I did this, or 20s even, and I'm not sure what all of those things might be, but I feel like like there's stuff I missed out on that I held back from because of my weight. There are paths I did not go because of just not feeling good with my appearance. And that I do regret that, except that's what it was. And I want to identify all those paths so I can figure out which ones I can do still.
Nice. Renee says, what is the name of the surgery?
Cataract surgery.
Oh, so that just, you had regular cataract surgery. Wow.
Yeah, but it was considered severe mature cataract.
Great.
It was pretty far along.
Karen says, do you have any before pictures? I guess maybe like of when you were at a heavier weight.
I do. I was prepared for that.
Oh, nice. You want to share screen? Or?
Yeah. How do we do that?
All I got to do is I got to click a little button and then you bring them up on your desktop. And Amy says, you seem like such a wonderful person. I'm so happy for you, Lissa. Rabbi Beth says, inspiring. And
okay, I'm gonna find the picture. Let me see if I can find it.
I'll just read some comments. Susan says, amazing testimonials.
Oh, you guys.
Other Nina says, overjoyed that you can see. And then there's some questions whenever you're ready, but we want to see some of your pictures.
Okay, yeah. All right, I found it. Now let me get back to you so that I can.
Yeah, you'll click the share screen button.
Okay, thanks. I haven't done this in this direction before.
Yeah,
I know how to host, but I don't know how to be the
I
sharing.
know, even though I do it, I still don't know every time. It's like a new beginning.
Okay, here we go. I think. So. Can you see?
Oh, I can see. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. The face. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, what a change. Oh, boy. That's why they say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, these aren't all the best lighting, and I'm a graphic designer, so you can imagine I'm really being picky. But this is that's what I have for now. So
That's fantastic. I could tell it's a huge amount of weight. That is amazing. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I stop share now. Is that what I do?
Yeah. You stop sharing, then you'll read back, and then I can read some of the questions.
Okay.
And the comments. Renee says, you're so honest. Kirsten says, you look like in your 30s or 40s. And okay, we showed that one. Where do you perform? Denise wants to know. She'd love to see you perform.
Thank you. In Oakland. Actually, also, I've been in Santa Cruz and other places too, but usually, you know what? I haven't done it full time for a while, and I just hit Messiah usually. So I'll let you know if I'm doing it this year. But usually in Oakland, that's where I'm based.
Do you have like a signature song or aria that you perform? Like, Tony Bennett, I Left My Heart in San Francisco. Do you have a Lissa song that is your favorite?
Oh yeah, I sing to the dog. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd, or he was despised, from Handel's Messiah. He shall feed his flock is like a lullaby to me, the way it's written. And he was despised is really gutsy. And
do you have any CDs or any YouTube that we can watch? Because
I need to dig them up.
We would love to see it. We've got to.
Yeah, thank you. I have some recordings. I don't know that I have anything that's video.
And, I just thought of something. If you ever do decide to write an autobiography, it could be called The Fat Lady Has Sung.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
You better. And it's still not over.
That's right. And that'd be the subtitle. I love it.
Yeah, you're good.
Thank you. Deborah says, did your eyesight come back overnight or over a period of time?
In a minute.
Wow.
However, I'm still dealing with a little bit of difficulty. I have what they call swollen eyes. And so I'm having to take eye drops every day. It's been a few months. And so what that means is that the fine print, and especially first thing in the morning, is a little bit dicey. It's not that I can't see it at all. but I'm still dealing with with some things about my eyes, but in general, oh man, everything's gorgeous, you know. And I was living in a world of sepia tone. I didn't realize that when the first night that I went out, the first night after I had surgery, I took the dog out for a walk, and it wasn't rigorous. I was being very careful, and I only went a short distance, and I couldn't believe how bright it was out late at night. And what and then also the brightness of colors became so much more vivid. And it was just marvelous to see the difference. And it was very quickly. So yeah. And I went for the multifocal lenses. And there's all different types that work very well, but that was what I went with, and I'm very pleased. So.
Nice. So let's see, here's a question from Denise. Did you also exercise, and do you exercise?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know, I go for walks every day, and I have a border collie who really needs his walk. So we do a minimum of 2 miles of comfortable walking. I'm not doing vigorous exercise at the moment. I mean, I don't know what you call it vigorous, but I mean, what is it? I probably could improve it. But I walk every day, and I do 2 miles with him, and then several more times on short walks during the day, because he needs to go out and do his business. So that's my primary exercise. I'm in a movement group with the I Thrive with John McMahon's group. We created a little group that we do some stretches and exercises with Lisa Huck. And those are really helpful just to get your blood flowing, you know, and to open up some of the joints and parts of your body that you may be keeping dormant because I'm sitting in a chair looking at the computer. So, but I'm not doing a lot of other exercise at the moment, but I look forward to it. I was raised by a world champion swimmer, so you can imagine all of us had to swim big time. And but I just like to always walk. I feel, you know, what happened during COVID, there's backdoor blessings to COVID. And so one of the things that it forced me to do was get out and walk more. I don't know why, but I wanted to get healthy. So I decided, you know, I got to get out more. And, you know, I met my neighbors. I mean, a ton of my neighbors, and a lot of them that also had dogs and those who didn't. And we became a strong community. And I call that a backdoor blessing, because we wouldn't have known each other otherwise, you know. And yeah, it was just because I was getting out walking, but it was because we were also going through this uncertain time together. And we always look forward to seeing each other. And I'm talking about at least 30 people. So, you know, and we're all still looking out for each other. So.
Sue wants to know, she says, great job. You mentioned Mastering Diabetes. Did you do their program?
I paid for their program. I paid a lot. I subscribed for $100 a month for a long time, and I paid attention to them, but I didn't do the program. And it's not because I don't love them. I don't know what it is. So I don't think that qualifies as doing the program, though. But I think the world of them. And in fact, I want to give away a bunch of their books to friends. I have some diabetic friends who, you know, really need help. And so I'd like to give them that book for starters, I think, especially if they ask for help. So I think the world of Cyrus and Robbie, and you know, it's how many programs can you do at one time? Yeah. And so I instead of doing it specifically, I just really love listening to them whenever I can.
Yep. Great. Susan says, Well, this is Susan, this is Mama Mate Susan. How long after trying whole food plant-based SOS free did you feel like things clicked and that there was no turning back?
No turning back. Okay. Immediately, I made the decision from day one. And so that's when it clicked that I had to do it. And you know what? I knew it. I've known it for years that it's the way to go. Here, oh, this is kind of diverting here a little bit, but I think you'll like this. I have a very close friend, Linda, who is writing a book on the animals. And I've known her all my life. She's now 70. And she's vegan, and she's helping the animals big time.
Is it Middlesworth? Is it not Middlesworth, is it?
No, her last name is Hunt of all the words.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
But anyway, she's a wonderful person, and I mean, we're very close. And you know, the best I could do was about 5 years ago, I stopped eating red meat, and I would listen to her, and I'm like, Linda, I want to do it, but I just, you know, it was hard. It was really hard. Butter was hard. You know, when you cook really good food, I know how to cook really good, you know, Julia Child kind of cooking, right? With all the dairy. It's not easy to finally say, okay, that's it. Or I'm done. And so what I did watching you last year was I incorporated as much as possible. And then maybe I still had a little cheese here and there, and I didn't get rid of it yet. But do you know what happened one day? I'm like, that's it. And I actually took the cheese out of my refrigerator and threw it away. I mean, I didn't just finish it and say, okay, I'm not going to buy anymore. It was like delicious stuff that I said, you know, this is cancer in the making. So let's just, and it was holding me back from progress. And so, and I was down to having maybe one slice every so often. It wasn't like I was eating gobs and gobs at that point, but I still felt like I could have it. If I really wanted it, I could have it. And so I let go of it. But so that was a cool thing. Anyway, getting back to Linda, let me just tell you, she convinced me. I mean, it didn't take much to know that, you know, I knew she's involved with PETA. She's involved with all sorts of things to help the animals. And the stuff that she knows is astounding. And I would almost have to apologize to her. And she loved me anyway. And I would say, you know, I can't quite do it all the way. I don't want to kill any more animals, you know, but I still am eating chicken and fish. And when I finally got hooked up with you, and I listened to a lot of these great experts, all the doctors talking about it, that finally clicked. It's like getting the information over and over again. It's like, oh, the light bulb went on, it's time. And so I'm ashamed and a little bit happy to say that I was not able to go completely animal free, you know, until I got here. And I would have loved to have done it while being inspired by my friend Linda. But I'd have to apologize to her and say, yeah, I'm not all the way there yet. I wish I could. And now it's kind of funny because she might sneak in some, well, she loves Amy's food. And so, you know, that's not that bad. But, you know, I don't do that. And so I feel like, hey, who's on top now? and I'm so grateful that I can finally say, yeah, I'm vegan. But I wish it were because of the ethical reasons. And it just was too hard to do. And thank heavens, thank God for the pleasure trap, seriously, because it helped me to finally get there. And who cares which came first, right? I got there.
Wow, terrific. Karen says, you mentioned you tried many other plant-based programs in the past. Why do you think Chef AJ's approach worked where others may not have?
I think, again, it's that attitude and learning the mindset and having a lot to do with learning how our body works. It's not just having a rule to follow, but learning how the body works. that we are attracted to rich foods. We are, we are attracted to eating like kings and queens. We are attracted to the sugar, oil, and salt. And I don't need to name all the foods that we would all love to, that tastes good, right? But I'm just saying, those are things that our body goes for. And that had never been explained to me before. I think that was key for me to understand. And then here's my biggest, that's my number 2 on my list of what to do is to read and listen to Chef AJ read The Pleasure Trap to you. I've listened to at least 3 times read that book all the way through. So here's that's my number 2 item, but maybe it's 1A. Okay. But number 1 that I say is most important is to determine your reason why. I think that is extremely important. And if you haven't figured it out, do it. I think it's extremely important. Get to know what your why is. It could be that you want to see your grandkids grow up, or it could be, for me, it's that I wanted to see again, and that I didn't want to drop dead from a heart attack, and that I want to have the possibility of longevity in this life.
I love it. Linda says it's the why power, not the willpower.
Oh, yeah. When people talk about willpower, I'm like, nah, that's not what this is about at all.
Yep. Susan says, thank you for no longer supporting animal cruelty. Another spectacular bonus to eating only plants.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I rescue animals. So I love them and I talk to them and they talk to me every day. You're going to love hearing that, right? Oh, there's that crazy lady. But my dog, Jake, is 4 years old. I got him at age 1. My friend's a veterinarian. He had been brought in at about age 1 and he had been hit on the freeway. And he's a wonderful border collie. And my friend who's the vet, I'm actually, her mom is one of my dearest friends, and she was on the phone with her. I was with her at the time, and Brittany sent a picture of Jake as a young pup, but he was too well not to stay at the vet hospital that she worked in, and they were going to have to give him over to the shelter. And all of a sudden I went, what did I do here? And I was like, yeah, I'll foster him. And everybody knows that Lissa flunks fostering, so no problem. So Jake is in it, but it took adjustment. A border collie isn't easy.
They need a lot of exercise.
Yeah, and also they need a job. They need a job to do, and so it's not like they can just hang out and do nothing. They really want to do things. Although one of his favorite pastimes is chasing flies. So that's kind of entertaining. But the other thing that I do with the animals is 8 years ago, I was down. I usually have 1 to 3 cats, and I was down to 1. And I thought, okay, we can get 2 kittens. I'll get 2 kittens. And it was like qualifying for a mortgage, I swear. It was like, we don't know if you're good enough. I'm like, my last cat lived to 20. Is that not good enough? I mean, come on, you guys. But anyway, so I hunted around to find a couple of kittens. And I finally found this wonderful foundation in Oakland that was inundated with kittens, and they needed someone to foster. And I ended up coming home with a litter of 4 kittens.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, I'll keep 2 and give 2 away. And no, it didn't happen. So now I'm the cat lady. I'm the formerly fat lady and the cat lady and the dog lady. But the thing is like we have a wonderful family of animals here, and they all love each other. The cats groom the dog. They play, they chase each other up and down the stairs. And so it's just like having kids. And they're very fun, and it makes for a very joyful household.
Yeah, I think they add so much to our life. There was a question about how long it took, to qualify for surgery. I saw.
Okay, I can tell you that. So here's what happened. In March, mid-March was when COVID happened, and everything got shut down, and I got moving on throwing all the stuff out of my house, right? And my what my numbers were then. And I did an A1C in the summer and then another one in the fall. And in the fall, it was, I think October, it was down to 8.6. And that would have been okay to have surgery then. However, due to COVID, eyesight was not considered essential. I love that. So I had to wait until the surgery was allowable. And by that time, my A1C was down to around 7. And that was in March of this year. Nice. Oh, no, I take that back. It was February. So anyway, now as you know, it's down lower, but what was that? 6 months or so for me to get the A1C to qualify for surgery.
That's good. Kathy says, how were you able to do graphic design when you had impaired eyesight?
Duh. Sorry. Well, I faked it as long as I could, but I didn't. I couldn't do it much. So you can imagine how it's been for me the past few months. I have some clients that are annual projects that I do, and it was really fun to get back in the seat again. And I'm going full speed ahead. I'm working on a couple websites and doing my normal stuff. I do a lot of brochures and books and anything on paper in print. So it's been fun to get back into that. There's a ballet that I do. I support them and do a lot of their materials. So it's just been marvelous to get back into doing that. And so to answer the question, I minimized what I could do as a graphic designer. And that was another reason, probably another good reason that contributed to my why.
Nice. Okay. Susan says, could you sing just a few bars?
Oh gosh. Okay. I don't even know if I'm in the right. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd. Oh, sorry. It's kind of weak.
But... No, it's amazing. I could tell. Wow.
I like the gruffy ones. Let me see if I can at least stir one of those up. Let's see. He was despised. Oh, well, there's Jay.
That's so funny that you're doing a duet.
So anyway, there you go. I gave you a couple words.
No, I can tell you've got some real talent. Amy says, what do you eat in a day?
Aha. Okay. I think I knew this was coming. I see the lights in my eyes here a little bit. Sorry. All right. In the morning, I down a bunch of water first thing. And then I will have a smoothie, but mine isn't your average smoothie. I fill a Blendtec pitcher full of spinach to start with. And then I add steamed steamed cauliflower. Okay. And then I have berries and bananas and blend that all together, and water. And I blend that all together and I don't have it in the morning. I probably don't eat till about noon. So sometimes 11, sometimes 1, but I'm just saying that I go the morning without, I strive to do the 8 and 16, the 16 hours without eating. So however I feel, but I mean, generally that's what I like to do. And so I'll have a smoothie, and I know that's controversial, but I'm just telling you, that's what I do. And then I'll follow that with some sort of starch, and it could be a bunch of rice and potatoes, or it could be oatmeal, any of those things. And that really is a nice combination to keep me going for several hours. I feel really good. Then later in the day, I'll have a huge salad, and it's in fact, it was featured on on your Tuesdays with Thomas a couple months ago. My Treasure Island salad, I have that every day. And that's mixed greens, all chopped up really well. And I love all sorts of different kinds of onions. My favorite these days are shallots, but they're not available right now. So I have red onions and green onions. And I like combining all those, and radishes. So, and some carrots. So in other words, a mishmash of a whole bunch of veggies that I'll throw into my salad. But the other thing I add is I slice some thinly sliced strawberries. So I like the fruit combination. My mom used to make wonderful salads for any of our big family gatherings. And they always had some sort of fruit in there. It might be grapefruit. I know that sounds weird with a tossed green salad, but I'm kind of following after her idea there of having, and I'll use the 7-herb Italian vinegar, and I will often mix that with another one. I'll also drizzle on the Premium Classic balsamic, or the grapefruit balsamic. I mean, you can put any of them on there. In fact, you know what? Here's a hint. If you haven't tried it already, try the lavender balsamic. It's a great option to lemon, so it's not always the same thing that you're having all the time. So anyway, that's what I'll hopefully that tells you what's in my salad. And I really have a bunch of that. I measured it the other day. I think it's at least a half a pound, if not 2/3 of a pound of the greens. But then I add all the other things too. So that is one meal. And then often for another time of day, I will do a water saute of onions and garlic and mushrooms. And sometimes I'll put what is that, hickory balsamic?
Oh, that's my fave. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put that in there. Or I love a teriyaki. And I also use up the ginger. I have about 20 bottles of the balsamic vinegar, and I'm not exaggerating with that, in my cupboard. So I love that stuff. It just works. You don't need that much, but it works.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Hey, Louise said, is your friend Linda Hunt the actress Linda Hunt?
No, that's Helen Hunt.
No, there's an actress. Isn't there an actress Linda Hunt, you guys also? Could somebody not, hold on, let me wait for her. Is there an actress named Linda Hunt?
She may be an actress in
she's on NCIS Los Angeles. Linda
Hunt. Really? Oh, that's fun.
She was in Kindergarten Cop. No, she's a real actress.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. That tells you how far away from it I am now. No, she's not. But she lives up on the coast and does her work with the animals up on the coast, I should say, like Bodega Bay, Dillon Beach, Tamales. She does a lot of her research there with a lot of the sea animals. And I can't wait for her book to come out. So, and she wants me to do the cover, so that'll be kind of fun. But
do you know what it's called?
Yeah, but I don't know that I can tell you.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? It's hers to say. So
can you say it's about? Is it like an animal rights book or a cookbook?
Yes, it's all about the animals, and there's a lot of good spiritual things in it. Just a marvelous journey, but filled with all the facts. I mean, stuff that'll knock your socks off. But she's just done a marvelous job of all the work that she has done. So, oh, by the way, I have a new website, and I'll let you, I really wanted you to see it before I announced it. So, because I endorse you And I want to make sure that's okay with you.
Yeah,
before.
please. I mean, sure.
Okay. All right. So I'll tell you what the name of it is, as long as you're okay with that, because I feel like it's kind of the index to Chef AJ in many ways, but it's to help everybody. I wanted to wait before I published it, but I went ahead because I had compiled enough information that people were asking me about that I thought, okay, you can have it now, but I promise you I'm not finished. So it's called withLissaWerson.com. And you don't have to spell out Lissa's. You can just use L, the initial L for short, Vibrant Living. And I plan to write you a note to make sure you're okay with it. I just don't feel comfortable. I took advantage of you now. I did it in front of everyone.
No, that's okay. No, it sounds great. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've just compiled all the resources that help us to stay motivated and give us an education. I really appreciate it. That's okay. As a parting thought on that idea, some of these programs they have success for a lot of people, and one of the things that that some of these programs do is they call and support each other every day, and it's how you support each other that makes the difference. And I don't want to live with having to make 6 phone calls a day in that regard. I really don't. I don't mean I don't mind talking to you. I just mean that it kind of feels a little not something I feel good about. So that's what I consider tuning into AJ every day at 11 o'clock, is that I'm getting my phone call in there. I'm getting my chance to be supported. And what happened was I did that initially, and there are several others whom I also follow. But what I find is that reinforcement is so important to reminding you why you want to do this. And, there was a quote once that dairy is the miracle grow for cancer. And then that was reinforced by a few of your recent guests who went on about the details of where milk comes from and what happens to all those cows, and how they're not just how they're treated, but what's in that milk, and that it contains growth hormone for a baby cow to grow to be 89 pounds in a short period of time. And I'm like, yeah, I get it now. It's got that growth hormone that is, none of us needs that. We need our own mama's milk for only a short period of time in our lives. So anyway, that was I loved hearing the reinforcement of why it is that dairy isn't really a good idea.
Yep. Do your dogs sing every time you sing, or only certain songs that were?
I haven't tested him. Hey, Jakey, want to sing a little song?
It might be fun to do a video, like a duet.
I know. Yeah. What do you think, Jake? We love Chef AJ. Oh, yes, we do. Oh, we love you. Oh, yes, we do.
Can we see him? He seems adorable. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Come here.
Jakey.
Come say hi. Can you say
hi?
Hi, baby, I love you. That was good. Yeah. Yeah.
That's precious.
Kissing now,
That is precious.
Yeah. He goes, every time I leave the room, he's there with me, I'm like,
we love our pets in FFOF, all those of us that have them.
Definitely.
This has been wonderfully inspiring. Thank you so much for offering to do this. I appreciate it. If anyone has, it doesn't have to be like losing 1 million pounds, anything in your life that you want to share, member spotlight, success story, whatever you want to call it. We love hearing from you. Thank you so much, Lissa. Let me take you off so I can look at everybody. And I like to put it in gallery, but I don't like to record in gallery. I like the brave people that turn on their cameras so we can see each other. I love, especially when you guys are eating and stuff. or doing your laundry. I love that. I like watching people doing their laundry. All right. So hopefully we'll have another spotlight next week. If not, it'll just be me. And also, you can always ask me questions. I'm always monitoring the chat, and I'm always here 11 a.m. every day when we have a guest. So guys, thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. Okay. Take care, everyone. Have
Thanks
a
very
safe
much.
surgery tomorrow, Margot, and congratulations on your recovery, Fred. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye, everyone.